Howdy. I thought I will read a bit from Words in Collision, written by Immanuel Velikovsky, first published in 1950. We'll start here. After the catastrophe of the days of Atreus and Thyestes, the luminaires crossed their former paths obliquely. The poles were shifted. The year lengthened. The orbit of the Earth became wider. The zodiac, which, making passage through the sacred stars, crosses the zones obliquely, guide and sign bearer for the slow moving years, falling itself, shall see the fallen constellations. Seneca describes the change in position of each constellation: the ram, the bull, the twins, the lion, the virgin, the scales, the scorpion, the goat, and the wain, the great bear. And the wain, which was never bathed in the sea, shall be plunged beneath the all-engulfing waves. A commentator who wondered about this description of the position of the great bear wrote, "There was no mythological reason why the wain, otherwise known as the great bear, should not be bathed in the ocean. But Seneca said precisely this strange thing: the great bear, or one of its stars, never set beneath the horizon, and thus the polar star was among its stars during the age that came to its end in the time of the Argive Terrans." Seneca also says explicitly that the poles were torn up in this cataclysm. The polar axis is now turned towards one of the stars, the North Star of the little bear. In the face of the cataclysm, when humanity was overwhelmed with awe, the heartbroken Thyestes, longing for death, called upon the universe to go down in utter confusion. The picture was not invented by Seneca. It was familiar because of what happened in earlier ages. O thou exalted ruler of the sky, who sittest in majesty upon the throne of heaven, and wrap the whole universe in awful clouds. Set the winds wearing on every land, and from every quarter of the sky let the thunder roll, not with what hand thou seekest houses and undeserving homes, using thy lesser bolts, but with that hand by which the threefold mass of mountains fell. These arms let loose and hurl thy fires. Again, Isaiah. Time passed after the age of Ahaz, and the 14th year of King Hezekiah approached. Again, the frightened world anxiously anticipated a catastrophe. On these two previous approaches, the celestial missile had come very close indeed. This time the end of the world was feared. After the cataclysm of the days of Uzziah and the funeral day of Ahaz, one did not have to be a prophet to foretell a new cosmic catastrophe. The earth will move out of its place. A scorching flame will devour the air. Hot stones will fall from the sky, and the waters of the sea will mount and descend upon the continents. Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest, cataract of hail, and destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand. The mighty and strong one was a heavenly body, a missile of the Lord. Once more it was destined to surge to earth. The overflowing surge shall pass through, was Isaiah's new prognostication. Although the people of Jerusalem hoped that when the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. Jerusalem had no convenience with death. There will be no safe place for refuge. The waters shall overflow the hiding place, the consumption even determined upon the whole earth. For the Lord shall be wroth, as in the valley of Gibeon, that he might do his work, his strange work, and bring to pass his act, his strange act. What was the strange act in the valley of Gibeon? In that valley, the host of Joshua witnessed a rain of bolides and saw the sun and the moon disturbed in their movement across the firmament. At an instant, suddenly, the land will be invaded with small dust and with the multitude of terrible ones, and it will be visited with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. A devouring fire and an overflowing stream shall shift the nations with tempest and hailstones. The prophet, reading the signs of the sky, took upon himself the role of sentinel of the universe, and from his watchtower in Jerusalem he spread the alarm. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her. Let the earth hear, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Then follows the desolate picture of the destroyed earth and dissolved sky. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. And all their hosts shall fall down, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. And the streams shall be turned into pitch, and the dust into brimstone. And the land shall become burning pitch. It shall not be quenched night or day. The smoke shall go up forever. Isaiah referred his readers to the book of the Lord. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord, and read, no one of these shall fail. This book probably belonged to the same series as the book of Jasher, in which the records of the days of Joshua at Gibeon were preserved. All traditions and astronomical observations must have been written down in the book of the Lord, no longer extant. Maimonides and Spinoza, the exegetes, ego sum dominus, facies omnia, extendes caelos solus, stabiliens terrain. Yeah. Here, before I go, let's take this in still. Before I go on the description of the day on which the prophecies of Isaiah pronounced after the death of Ahaz were fulfilled, I should like to present the common view of generations of commentators. The books of the Mayas have come into the hands of only a few scholars, likewise the papyri of Egypt and the clay tablets of the Assyrians. But the book of Isaiah and other books of the scriptures have been read by millions during many centuries and hundreds of languages. Is the way in which Isaiah expressed himself obscure? It is a kind of a collective psychological blind spot which prevents the understanding of the clearly revealed and scores of times repeated descriptions of astronomical, geological, and meteorological phenomena. The description was thought to be a peculiar kind of poetic metaphor, a flowery manner of expression. Even a modest attempt to review these various commentaries on Isaiah would burst the frame of a book larger than this one. Therefore, it should satisfy the orthodox and the liberal reader alike if the opinions presented by two great authorities in the world of thought are given here, and the thousands of commentators not quoted at all. Studying geology is basically studying petrified weather. Clouds are plasma. If Earth's electrical circuit is getting juiced up by many magnitudes, you can be sure the winds will be much stronger than now. They will be supersonic. The lightning strikes will be much more intense anyone can imagine. And we are entering the 12,000 year cycle. We are in it already. We have extreme weather all over the place. Many strange things are going on all over the world. So you of course, you can deny that nothing is going on, everything is fine. Yeah, it will pass. Yeah, you can do it. You will find out how far you will get with that attitude. You can also take the signs as what they are, as signs. Signs of the times we are in. Food shortages and stuff coming. Electricity is going to be turned out in wintertime when it's probably needed the most. Yeah, and a few other things, like how geomagnetic activity influences people's minds, feelings, everything. Since our thoughts are electromagnetic impulses interpreted by our brain, and it's always compared to what we know. Everything what we know is a memory. And some say our memories are stored in our aura and not in our brain. If so, geomagnetic activity has very interesting influences in the behavior of people when they are getting shook out of balance in the most profound way there is. And this is literally universally because you are connected to the universe. You don't have to believe me, you don't have to believe it or whatever. But you are. We are all the time, constantaneously. Earth is a living creature. We are living creatures in a smaller scale. If you go down to the atom, you will figure out that it's all about scalability, mass consciousness, the degree of awareness of the individual compared to the awareness level of a society. Yeah, there's quite a gap between those. So there will be friction. But anyway, I drifted off a bit. I will leave a link below to Immanuel Velikovsky's book, Words in Collision. Many words are in collision right now. But anyway, thanks.